Hello everyone! Welcome to part 2 of my videos about the best hi-fi albums on my CD collection that I will recommend to my fellow audiophiles. As I said on my first video, they are well-recorded and expertly produced albums that are available on CD, and you can use them to audition speakers, amps, and CD players, or to just enjoy on your listening sessions. On this selection, there is great vocal performance, superb instrument playing, albums that are recorded on the best studios, use the best musicians, and have even added choirs and orchestras. I know different people have different tastes in music, so I tried to mix up the genre so that there is something here for most people. I will list only 5 albums on this video, and I will share some more albums on my next videos. So here is my list in no particular order. First on my list is Just a Little Lovin' by Shelby Linn. This is the 10th studio album by American singer-songwriter Shelby Linn, released by Lost Highway in January 2008. This album is her tribute to British singer Dusty Springfield and featured covers of her 9 songs. There's one song here that is an original song written by Shelby titled Pretend, which I also like a lot and features gentle guitar playing. I love everything about this album. From Shelby's singing style to the minimal instrumentation, you can hear every ebb and flow on her voice. The spare arrangements made up mostly of backing guitar, keyboards, and drums put the focus on Shelby's voice, which sounds spectacular and multi-dimensional. Shelby adopts a less is more approach and casts the shadow of melancholy on the songs. With a good hi-fi system, it will sound like she is singing right there on your listening room. This album was nominated in the Best Engineered Non-Classical Album category for the 51st Grammy Awards, recognizing the work of album engineer Al Schmidt, who worked before with Elvis Presley, Steely Dan, and Neil Young on their albums. Schmidt and producer Phil Ramone made sure that this album would sound exquisite. This is a meticulous record with crystal clear production that have a jazzy feel with Shelby's soulful voice doing justice to all the tracks. Next on my list is by Charles Mingus. This American jazz upright bassist, composer, and band leader Charles Mingus' debut album for Columbia, released in October 1959. Between 1950 and 1960, Mingus released more than 20 albums, but it's Mingus' that critics describe as the most consistently dazzling. On this album, he pays direct musical tribute to jazz legends Duke Ellington, Charlie Parker, Lester Young, and Jelly Roll Morton. The band includes longtime Mingus stalwarts already well-versed in his music, like saxophonists John Handy, Shafi Hadi, and Booker Ervin, trombonists Jimmy Nepper and Willie Dennis, pianist Horace Parlan, and drummer Danny Richmond. Their razor-sharp performances tie together what may well be Mingus' greatest, most emotionally varied set of compositions. At least 3 tracks became instant classics. Better Get It In Your Soul takes blues and gospel and makes out of it a new kind of jazz. Goodbye Pork Pie Hat is a slow, graceful elegy for Lester Young, who died not long before the sessions. Boogie Stop Shuffle moves into a fast-paced boppish chorus over a choo-choo train rhythm with fine coordinated playing by all. On Mingus has fun with jazz styles while interpreting them in his unique way and giving them a new flavor. Next on my list is Glenn Gould plays Bach's Goldberg Variations. Canadian classical pianist Glenn Gould is one of the most renowned pianists of the 20th century, and he recorded Bach's Goldberg Variations twice. The first recording from 1955 was his major label debut and instantly made him an international star. The second from 1981 was recorded shortly before his death in 1982 and was recorded digitally and in stereo in Columbia's 30th Street studio in New York City. Gould's piano playing is of high musical and technical order. People argue which performance is better, 1955 or 1981. In 2002, Sony Classics have re-released both performances on a single box along with a third disc containing outtakes from the 1955 recording sessions. The set I have was released by Sony on 2012 and just have the 2 CDs. I think both performances are evidence of Gould's greatness and acts of great artistic creativity, and both deserves a place in any music lover's CD collection. On Stereophile magazine's issue on 2008, editor and columnist John Marks listed the list of test tracks that he often used to evaluate or demonstrate stereo systems, and one of them is the track Aria from the 1981 recording. Marx said, "It's important that the piano sound realistic, but the real test is how well you can hear Gould humming along with himself." Next on my list is Funeral by Arcade Fire. This is the studio album by Canadian indie rock band Arcade Fire, released on September 2004 by Merge Records and is their debut album. The album was given its title because several band members had recently lost members of their families. Recordings for Funeral were made in August 2003 at the Hotel 2 Tango in Montreal, Quebec, and the recording was completed later that year, all in an analog recording format. The Hotel 2 Tango is a 24-track analog recording studio located in Montreal, Quebec. Funeral was produced and engineered by the band themselves. It took only half a year to record, although they used an army of guitars, pianos, synthesizers and organs, xylophones, violins, cellos and horns, harp, percussion and vocals. And even with that, it turned out into one of the finest albums that year. The album was nominated for a Grammy Award in 2005 for Best Alternative Music Album. Arcade Fire brought a maximalist attitude to chamber pop, as showcased by sing-along anthems like Wake Up and Rebellion or Lies. My favorite on this album is Wake Up. This track is an awesome driving riff and the rest of the track builds from this groove. This record showcases the band's accomplished multi-instrumentalism and its ability to make great songs that are both personal and universal. Last on my list for this video is Random Access Memories by Daft Punk. French electronic music duo Daft Punk released their fourth and final studio album, Random Access Memories, on May 2013 through Columbia Records. Electronic disco music pioneers Daft Punk aka Guy Manuel de Homem Cristo and Thomas Bangalter have made it known that the extravagant cost of their final album was entirely necessary for them to achieve their goal of making music that others might one day sample by paying tribute to what they believe is the greatest era for music, the 1970s and early 1980s. They have cited Fleetwood Mac's Rumors and Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon as just some of their inspiration. Daft Punk chose to go back to analog recording methods to help them achieve their desired sound, along with hiring some of the finest musicians alive, including off-the-wall drummer John Robinson, famed bassist and Easy Lover co-writer Nathan East, and Chick frontman Nile Rodgers. Every element on Random Access Memories was recorded twice, once directly into Pro Tools and once to 24-track analog tape, which was then re-recorded into the same digital session with the sound that best suited the song ultimately chosen for the final mix. I have recently been to an audio shop where they were using the track One More Time as a demo track as they are trying to show off their speaker's ability to deliver punchy rhythmic bass with clarity. Recorded largely using live instruments, this album is one of the few chart-topping dance albums that demands deeper listening. And that's my 5 CDs that I will recommend on the second part of my series of videos about best hi-fi albums for audiophiles. I will share some more great audiophile albums on CDs on my next video, so please subscribe. Keep in mind, these are a list of my favorite and recommended hi-fi albums and the music I use when auditioning hi-fi equipment. I hope you enjoy my selection and discover something new. Let me know your favorite and recommended hi-fi albums as well. Happy listening!